Hey y'all, it's Jessie with the Army Wife Knitting Life podcast, and I am so excited to talk to you guys today. I have fun things happening, and I just have to show them. I am very happy, you guys. I have had a great 2 weeks. They've been very productive. My goal is to get these podcasts out bi-weekly now, so hooray for getting the first one done at the right time. I can do this. A little bit about me. I'm Jessica. I am an Army wife. I am currently living in Kolberg, Germany, which is in Bavaria. Tiny little village. But our closest big cities that you might have heard of are Nuremberg, famous for the Nuremberg trials that took place after World War II. And we're about an hour from there. And we're about 2 hours from Munich, which is one of the oldest cities. The Olympics has taken place there. Absolutely beautiful city. It's also the capital of the state I live in, which is Bavaria. And Bavaria is your lower part of Germany. It is very picturesque, a lot of farms. When people think of Germany, they tend to think of Bavaria. One of the most famous things you can see in Bavaria, though, is the Neuschwanstein Castle. And I actually took my mom to see that when she was here for a few weeks. This castle is also known as Cinderella Castle. If you're a Disney fan, it's the castle that Walt Disney based Cinderella's castle off of. And so when you enter the Magic Kingdom or Disneyland or any of the Disney parks, that big castle in the center is based off of Neuschwanstein, which was created by Mad King Ludwig, who is Ludwig II of the Mittelbach family. That's a history lesson you didn't really need, but I tend to forget that you guys don't always know where I am currently living, since if you're a new viewer, you haven't seen my previous ones before. So hi to all new viewers, and welcome back to all of my regular followers. I am currently living in Germany. However, I am an American. I hail from all over the states because I grew up a military brat. However, I lived in Kansas and California the longest. I only count California because I was born there, and I spent every summer there as a kid with my grandparents at their house. And I'm there typically every other Christmas too. I just came back from there. We spent our big holidays as a family back in San Diego. So that's a little bit about me. Let's get into our knitting and fibery goodness, because I'm a knitter, a crocheter. I am learning to spin. I'm not going to show you any today because there hasn't been any progress, but I am learning. I also latch hook, and I'm a writer, and that's also not exactly exciting to show on a podcast. So let's get to it, shall we? First off, if you want to get in contact with me, you can either leave a comment down here below. You can message me on Ravelry. My username there is armywifeknitlife. Or you can message me on Instagram, which is armywifeknittinglife. I am generally pretty fast about getting back to you. Just remember, we have a big time difference between here and the States. The smallest amount of time difference we have is 6 hours, and that's from my time to the East Coast. So just keep that in mind. I am typically a night owl though, so I am up during the hours where you're getting off of work and are able to sit down and watch podcasts. So I will try and get back to you as soon as I can. Just keep it in mind. I have a group on Ravelry. Be sure and join it. It is the picture of Stonehenge. I took that when I went there with my husband a few months ago. It feels like a lot longer than that though. But it hasn't even been 6 months yet. So it's a little crazy. All right, let's get into nitty stuff now that you know where to find me. All right, so let's do some finished objects. I used to call this way back at the start of my podcast, the graduation section, because I was very much focused on connecting my podcast to the military. And every once in a while I feel nostalgic for it. This is not one of those times, but finished objects, woohoo! And just as a heads up, you guys, in case you haven't figured it out yet, at less than 5 minutes in, what you see is what you get with me. I tend to be as realistic as possible. I don't put on... I know that some people, when they podcast, they're all smiles and happy and peppy, and they will re-record something if it doesn't come out right. Not me. you see a fluffy mane of hair. And for my Missy K, my ponytail is iconic and beyond reproach, just like Betty Cooper's. I put makeup on solely so that you can see my eyelashes during the day. So, I mean, I'm not doing a full face of makeup. There's absolutely no makeup on my face beyond that mascara. So, sometimes I'll dress up because I feel like it, but I am real 24/7 when you guys see me. So, let's get to finished objects for real now. First off, I finished a pair of socks because who am I if I don't have socks that are finished? But I only have one pair, you guys. I was very good. I worked on other projects this week. So, these are Yarn Jar from the Yarn Jar yarn in the Pajama Party colorway. And I call them the Pajama Time socks. The heel and cuff are Knit Picks Stroll Brights in the Pucker colorway. I knit these with Chow Goose and a size 1 needle, 27 stitches on each needle. I knit toe up. I use a Fish Lips Kiss heel. And these are socks for my aunt for Christmas. I am endeavoring to give her an entire box. I also want to give my mother a box of socks because both of them received hand knit socks from me for the very first time this year, right in the winter time, and they both loved them, and they are very knit-worthy people. And my aunt is also the person that got the blanket of doom, as it was deemed, the Walking Dead blanket, for Christmas, along with my Uncle Chad. So, I love how these turned out. I do have an artificial daylight lamp going on over here, so that's why it's so bright on this side. Because it's getting dark, you guys. It's 4 o'clock. Our sun is pretty much already starting to set. It's a snowy, cloudy day, so it's darker to start with. So these are being held on my, I call them my Hamilton sock blockers from Alex Workshop Design. And as I say, every time I show off his sock blockers, I love them. They're from Ukraine. Well worth it. Well worth it. Takes a minute to get there, but good things come to those who wait. It is a great proverb, totally misused right now, but also totally true. Get yourself a pair of these. They're fantastic. So, that's object number 1. And I say number 1 because there are more finished objects, you guys. Normally, I just have a bunch of socks to show and maybe one thing that's not socks. Not the case this time. The next finished project is, you'll remember last episode, I showed off my Michigan Avenue wrap by Molly Klein of Molly Klein Design. I call it my Slither shawl. And this has not been blocked yet, but it is done. Okay. It's very long. Okay. So, here's the bottom. I was right there last time we podcasted. So I have added on all of this. And as you can see, ends have not been woven in yet. And I haven't blocked it yet. This is yarn from Michaels. It is their Joy DK from Loops and Thread. And it's a wonderful little wrap. Covers most things. It's in Slytherin colors because go Slytherin. And I always need more Slytherin in my life. I don't know about y'all, but I do. And I love it because it's soft and it's acrylic yarn, you guys. You wouldn't believe how soft this is. It's not your grandma's red heart. I said that last episode. I know, but I am telling you, not your grandma's red heart. It is worth all the $3 I paid per each ball. $9, and I have a fantastic shawl that does not pill, that is machine washable, and I can throw it in the dryer when I need to. So I am very happy about this. I finished it during my friend Melissa, aka Honeybee Knits. She had a 24-hour knit-a-thon this past weekend that I participated in, and I used that as the motivation to get this finished and off the needles, because I have a lot of shawls and wraps that I want to knit this year. And so I need to get the first one done so I can move on to others, right? So this is complete. I will say that for a wrap, it is nice and long. However, it feels with the stitches, and this is a me choice. She wrote in the pattern that you can set it to any amount of stitches you want. However, my first time doing a pattern, I always tend to stick to what they say, just because they're the designer, they know it's best, and then I can choose what modifications I make the next time I knit it. Or if it's something like just changing the length of a sweater, that's different. But I didn't want to change the width without knowing how wide this is, and I'm glad I didn't, because yes, it's long enough, but it's just barely long enough for me, because I am a bigger person. I'm sure on a thin person it's plenty long and can wrap easily, but I am bigger, and so I would have liked to have had it a little bit longer, and I'd like to have it a little wider. So if I were to knit this pattern again, which I probably will, it was fun and it was nice, and it was great for traveling because it was just 2 rows over and over again. So easy to remember. I would buy the same yarn again, but I would buy 2 balls of each color instead of just the one. And I'd make it wider and I'd make it longer. So that is my note about that. She has tassels on her pattern, but I chose to not do that. I do have some yarn left over, but I want to use it in a scrappy project. So I kind of just went as far as I could until I knew I didn't have enough to complete a full section, and then I stopped, and whatever yarn I have left is going into a scrappy project. Okay. The next one. I made this for a knit-along, and knit-alongs are now going to be brought up in between finished objects and works in progress, at least for the foreseeable future, because there's a lot I'm participating in. So this one is for my friend Deborah, Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal. She's doing the Farmer's Almanac make-along this year. And January's theme has a whole bunch of topics you can choose from. I chose Edgar Allan Poe because he was born in January, and Edgar Allan Poe, one of his most famous short stories is The Telltale Heart, which was also published in January for the very first time. So I made a little heart, and I am by no means a knitted toy or ornament expert, as evidenced by these big gaps. But you know what? Not bad. It's quick, and I will end up sticking a string through it, and it's going to go on my tree. Be it my holiday tree for Valentine's Day when I actually have one in my new house, whenever we get it, or it'll be for Christmas trees. So that's finished object number 3. This is made with Cascade 220, and they're like really red colorway. It's a scrap from an old project I did for my nephew when he was much younger. I like the yarn. However, I have learned recently about some controversy with Cascade, and I'm not going to go into too many details. However, if you want to Google it, you can. It took place a little while ago. I wasn't aware of it until I heard about it on Stranded podcast, which is hosted by Amy Florence. And she didn't go into details about it either. She said to Google it for yourself. And upon seeing what has happened, I have chosen I will no longer be purchasing Cascade yarns. So I will use what I have from them, and then I won't be buying any more. However, I'm not going to throw away yarn that I already have, especially when it has uses, because that's just silly. That's like when people were boycotting Nike and they were burning the shoes and clothes that they have with the check mark that they've already bought. Doesn't make sense. They already have your money. Why are you burning the clothes? That's beyond the point. But I also finished. This is really sad, you guys. I pulled this out of one of my project bags yesterday while I was trying to continue organizing my projects for the year into project bags so that I can get projects assigned to them and queued up, ready to go in an effort to make yoo-hoo, big stash blowout a thing and successful. I found this in here, and it's absolutely sad how long it has taken me to finish this project. I cast it on for my friend Colby when he and his boyfriend Vincent came to visit at Christmas in 2017. I started this on December 28th of 2017. I had finished the black one for Vincent for Christmas. However, I didn't have another black, and so I wanted Colby's opinion on what color hat he wanted. All I had to do on this hat, guys, was do crown decreases. That's it. But it took me over a year to get it done. This is the super soft, bulky merino hat. Pattern is by Pearl Soho, and it is in Knit Picks Brava Bulky in the Celestial colorway. Absolutely gorgeous color. And I am washing out. Sorry, guys. That's the true color for this. And just so you know, almost everything so far has shown up true color, pretty much. Might be a little darker here or there, but this is very accurate. It's just a stockinette hat, you guys. I don't know why I stopped. Probably because we were taking him to the airport in Munich, and I got the crown decreases right as we dropped him off, and I stuck it in a bag. Because you can't do those in the car, really, unless you know, and I wasn't about to pull the pattern up in the car. And also, my husband doesn't like me knitting in the car. It's a safety thing for emergency stops. You don't want to get stabbed by one of your needles. So I have this done. That is 4 projects so far. But I have 2 more. And these are what I am most excited about, you guys. I took the time to learn color work, stranded color work. These are very basic patterns. They're by no means perfect, but I had been so scared to try this. And I bought the Karen Pantone kits when I was in the States. I brought home 6 of them, and I said, I'm going to learn because I need a pattern. I need to do something with these. They're beautiful colors. Let's see what we can find that's made for them. And they're almost all color work or color blocking. So I found these, and I loved them. I've made 2, and they're fantastic. I'll show you what one of the Pantone kits looks like in just a second. But the first one that I finished is going to be, this is actually the one I just finished today. However, it's what's on my mannequin, so I'm going to show you it now. This is the Fair Owl beanie, and her name is, the designer is Destiny something. I can't remember right off the top of my head. But it's a free pattern. It was very simple. This one, however, I will say, takes 2 of the Pantone kits, which is frustrating because you only need the 2 for the brim and the crown. Everything else, you're fine with just using the 1 skein of. So it's a little frustrating to have the leftovers, but it means I can use them in something else. But they're also $7 a piece. And I know that for yarn snobs, it's not a big deal. But, you know, if I'm going to spend $14 on a yarn for a project, I'd like to use most of the yarn. And I didn't do that here. So, this is, keep in mind this is not perfect. This is where I had to tie in all of my new colors. So that yarn row is not pretty. And as you can see, I made a mistake because it's supposed to be checked like that. And over here it's just straight stripes. But can't be perfect, right? This is the Karen Pantone Moody Pumpkins color. And there is actually supposed to be an orange pom-pom, this goldish color. There's supposed to be a pom-pom on here. However, I'm not a pom-pom wearer. I am going to donate these hats though, and I will make the pom-poms and send them in a Ziploc bag, safety pinned to the hat, so that if the person that they're getting donated to, because I'm sending them to my sister, if she wants them on or the person wants them on, they have the option, and I'll include instructions on how to add it on and secure it. But I don't like to have them in the mail on my hat because too many things can happen. So this is the first one. And then second one only took one Pantone kit. But I'm not exactly, I'm trying to think of a way to say this. I am happy I learned how to do this color work. I am unhappy that when you buy one kit of this, for this hat, that they advertise, it's pretty much the size of a kid's hat, and it's not deep at all. So, this is what it looks like. This is their Farewell beanie from Yarn Inspirations. And I messed up on this one too. You can see it here. I doubled a row. So again, not perfect, but you know, I think it's not that bad for a first time. I also did not like their decreases for the crown. Not my thing. It's too pronounced for me. But this was their peacock skein. Okay. There is another pattern. There are about 20 patterns that Yarn Inspirations released with these Pantone kits so that you can use them for these specific projects. They're all free. So I just want to show you guys what they're like. So these are only sold in Michael's stores. This is their frozen berry color. And what it is they're just these little tiny, they're mini skeins pretty much wrapped up on each other to make it look nice. They are individual, so you have to cake them up individually and put them on the Swift separately. So that's what they look like. And they're small, convenient. It has a nice little picture here. And see, this is what I'm talking about. They have a hat. And you would think that that hat is for an adult. It's not. Because that barely fits my mannequin head. And these cakes, when you wind them on a ball winder, sometimes when you have the thicker cone in the middle, your ball can be a little messy since there isn't a lot of yardage per mini skein. It's bulky weight. So I wanted to share this tip with you guys that this is what I did when I was using them. I have these little trays from the dollar store. They're supposed to hold pencils. They're desk organizers. I had two because 2 skeins were needed for that kit. And I just went like this. So this is the actual full Moody Pumpkins skein kit. This is all that's left from the ball of the second brown. So that's all leftovers. But it helps keep it nice, neat, so they're not falling and going all over the place. But as you can see, it's still kind of messy. Just as a tip or suggestion to make sure that you have a successful time with them, because that can be a little frustrating. They are a little slippery. They are, let's see, the makeup of them is, it is 60% acrylic, 20% nylon, and 20% merino. So if you have wool sensitivity, this is not for you. But I like having a little bit of wool. It just gives it a little bit of warmth, a little bit of water resistance. And I really appreciate that. And that is all I have for finished objects, you guys. But that means with these 6 here and the 4 projects I had finished, last time, I made my goal of 10 projects for this month. So I was talking to some of my friends in the Zoom room yesterday, which if you are interested in joining, let me know. I will make sure you get the phone number, and it's all done over the computer, over Wi-Fi, so you don't have to worry about international calling from me personally. But it's all, you can do it from an app on your phone. You can do it from your computer. That's how I typically do it. And it's so much fun. You get to have, it's like Skype, but I think this is better than Skype. A lot better than Skype, let's be honest. So, please feel free to join us. It is a safe space. Everybody is welcome. Let me know if you need help. And if I'm not able to get to you right away, or if you have further questions that I don't know answers to, I have people that I can get you in contact with that are some of my friends that are experts at it. But it's super fun, and I'm in there most nights, although the official VKN night for, it's my friend Laura of Crocheting Whovian's room. And she has her official VKN for her podcast on Friday nights. I try to be in there on occasion. I typically don't succeed on Friday, though, because my husband is home from work, and he's actually able to stay up later because he doesn't have to go to work the next day. And we just spend time together and catch up from our week. But every other day, I'm typically in there for at least a few hours. So come join us. Okay. Now that we're done with finished objects, let's talk about some make-alongs that are going on. I already told you about my friend Deborah's Farmer's Almanac make-along. She has a few others going on too. She has a joint make-along going on with Laura of Crocheting Whovian called the Creature Feature. And last episode I misspoke. I said that the first quarter is January and February. It is not. For the first quarter, which is the beginning of January until the end of March, they are having double entries for any under the sea creatures that you enter there. Amigurumis, and you can do that knitted animals or crocheted animals. Super cute. Look at some of their finished objects, you guys. They're precious. I love them. Another one that Deborah is hosting is the I Like Big Shawls and I Cannot Lie make-along. This is for knit shawls that require more than 1,200 yards, and that's what the pattern states that they require. She is hosting that with A Historian Knits, Vanessa, and so both of their podcasts are doing that. And then Deborah has another solo cowl. She's doing all the cowls this year, as she says. And it is the Kidder Gitter Done cowl. And it can be a kit for anything. It can be felt applique, it can be sewing, baskets, latch hooking, diamond painting, anything where everything you need in order to complete a project is in the box or bag it came in. It is all year long. You can enter it and get those kits out of your house and get them made, because that's why you buy them, to make them and have the finished object. And I know I am guilty. I buy kits and they just sit around for a long time. The next cowl I want to talk about is Sock It To Me, which is hosted by the Knick Knack Knits podcast. And that's my friend Nikki. And as long as you finish one sock, you can enter it. Be sure to go check out all of their Ravelry groups for further details on dates and requirements. My make-along that's currently going on is the Thank You for Being a Friend cowl, formerly called Golden Girls Along just for simplification, but it is Thank You for Being a Friend officially. And use the hashtag Thank You for Being a Friend 2019 on Instagram if you're working on a project. This is a cowl where you can knit or crochet. If you can find other crafts, be it sculpture, weaving, spinning, if you can relate it to Golden Girls, and if you can create it and you can relate it to Golden Girls, it is welcome in this cowl because it is easygoing. So January 1st through March 31st. This is fun, you guys. I am ready because I am wearing my Squad Goals shirt. I love Golden Girls, you guys, so much. There are already some great entries in there, and you'll see how easygoing it is. It can be the color is gold, and Golden Girls therefore has gold in it. It could be the colors are tropical, and that reminds you of Florida and Miami or Blanche's boudoir. She has that fancy little mural behind her bed, you know. Anything, you can relate it to Golden Girls by saying you knit this project while watching an episode, and it will count. Prizes for that. The big one that's coming is, this is also very exciting. This is my first time announcing it on the podcast. I announced it on Instagram last night. I have teamed up with the Golden Pearls, the yarn dyeing company. Absolutely love them. They're fantastic. Go check out their Etsy shop. they contacted me when I had mentioned how much I love their yarn, and I had mentioned to them that I am going to do a Golden Girls knit along, and they so generously offered to work with me and collaborate to create a custom color. And we did that. It was officially released yesterday. It is called Right Here on the Boardwalk, and it is based off of an episode where Sophia makes a friend on the boardwalk, Alvin, and he has dementia and he's getting older, and one day he has to leave. But she had started to knit a scarf for him and doesn't get to give it to him before he leaves. And she always says, I'm going to keep it. It's going to, that way I remember him as he was right here on this boardwalk. It's a beautiful color. I'm going to pull it up for you guys so you can see. But they worked with me and we made sure that I liked it. It is available in their shop on a few bases. There we go. Try and get some of the glare out. You can see my Ravelry screen. It's not going to help too much, but there you go. And she is sending a skein of it on their DK base for me to give away to one of my lucky winners. So that is so exciting, you guys. You get to have a special colorway that was designed for this podcast and something that I had my hand in creating. So I am very excited about this. I hope you're excited too. I will also be throwing in a few other Golden Girls themed prizes and just some special little things from me personally. So I will show you the skein in person once I have it. It is on its way to me. But again, if you can't wait, if you don't want to risk it, there are skeins available in their shop right now as of January 24th. They're going to Vogue Knitting Live in New York this weekend, though. So while they're not bringing the boardwalk skeins there, who knows if people love them enough, they might go and get them. So go and get yours now. All right, that's over. I wanted to make sure you guys knew. I have been so excited about it. I've been working with them for a few months since before the holidays, and they're just such a joy to work with. They're so much fun. They love Golden Girls as much as I do. It's great. Okay. Let's talk about some whips now. First is in my Stitching Plaza Expecto Patrono bag. This is a project that I started a long time ago that you guys haven't seen for a while. This is my Sockhead Slouch Hat by Kate McClure. It is on Chowgu needles that are size 2, it says. Huh. Yeah, 2. Alright, this is from, the yarn is a Homespun House in the Laser Tag colorway. It's their sparkle base. And I have a fun cow stitch marker from Simply Serving. Her name is Cara. But I pulled this out the other day because I was going through my project bags and I realized it wasn't done. And also, when I showed my friends in VKN yesterday that I had made all 10 of my projects, I got challenged to actually do the original 15 I had wanted to do when I was still super jet lagged. It's the 24th. I have a few days. I don't know if I can do it, but gosh darn it, I am going to try and get 15 done. So this hat is one of them. I am going to work hard and get it finished. This hat is a little different than most. It's fingering weight yarn, but I did a double brim. I'd never done one before though. So what I did was I just knit the ribbing super long and then I folded it and picked up on the cast on edge. I didn't do a provisional cast on or anything, and it was a little difficult. Probably not going to ever do that again, but it's super soft and squishy and I love that. And it fits over my ears nicely because my ears are always cold outside, especially here. So I'm very excited to get this finally done because these are some fun colors, you guys, and you know I love fun colors. That's what the inside of this bag looks like. It's Harry Potter DA drawing fabric. I apparently can't grab a zipper today. Alright, the next thing I've been working on is the hat for my nephew. This is probably going to be the last time I show it. It is not officially done, but it will definitely be mailed out before I record again. And also, it's going to have some information about like my nephew's team, what his number is, and that's something I just don't want to put on the internet for safety. So this is the last time I'm going to show it. It's not complete yet though. It was still just in this little section right here. Last time I podcasted, I have since finished the hat and now I am adding the braids. And then I will duplicate stitch the info for him and his team stuff on here after I'm done. Had I known that I was going to learn color work so soon, I would have waited, but I'm very proud of this hat anyways. I'd never done an ear flap before. I've never added braids to something before. These ends will be cut and put away. I am willing to weave in ends for gifts for people that aren't knitters or crocheters. They can knit in their own. I know that's terrible, but it's what I do. But that is made with Red Heart navy and white yarn. They're super saver because he's a 10-year-old boy and he's going to wear it for his soccer games. He's going to sweat and be gross. And I know them. They're not going to wash it and then air dry it. They're going to stick it back in the dryer. And I don't want it to shrink. So they get Red Heart for it. It's the Cozy pattern by Allison Williams. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry. It is made for 3 colors and just like a big color block right in the middle. But that's something that's easily modifiable to fit your needs for it. I really just needed a base and numbers to go off of. I made the rest happen. We're going to take a quick break so I can have some water. Okay. Next project. I only have 2 more, you guys. Alright, because I'm trying very hard to focus on what I have and not start all the other things, even though I want to really badly. Alright, we had talked about last time I'm using the Pixel Crochet book by Hannah Muir to create a paw print blanket for my nephew. And I have just done a few squares last time. Now, I haven't finished the squares, but I have started to just put it together. These are the pads of the top of the paw print. So this blanket is about 4.5 feet in length. And you're not going to get it all, but I mean, you can see that I'm back there farther away from my screen and I can't get it all on. But I can get pretty much most of it. This is officially a quarter of the way finished because there's only 16 rows to this blanket. And I've done 4. And I have more squares made to go. I just have to join them all together. So I'm having fun with it. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not dreading my blanket making. I have a few more to go this year, so if I can get some small ones out of the way first, that's great and leaves me with more time to get the others done. All right, last project, you guys. This is one that is specific to the Golden Girl Along. This is in a Molly Klein design bag. And this is the Picture It shawl by Kate DeGroff. However, I call it, that's what its official name. I call it the Picture It Germany 2019 shawl. And this was not started last time I saw you guys. However, I did cast it on. And I've made some decent progress on it, considering all the other things I've made this past 2 weeks. So this is section 1 up until the purple. And this big chunk right here is the start of section 2. But we have Men Love My Cupcakes. We have Whoa, Miami You've Got Style, and No Rose. This is a kit from the Golden Pearls. And if you enter these projects into the cow and you use Golden Pearl yarn, you get a second entry for your project. if you knit the Picture It shawl or a Picture It hat, cowl, or mitts, you get double entries. And if you do any of these projects in Golden Pearls yarn, you get another entry. So there's great ways for you to get extra entries into this cowl and win that skeiny yarn. I'm going to throw in a project bag. It probably won't be Golden Girls themed, but everyone needs a project bag for their new yarn, right? So I am loving this. It's a great knit. It does take a little bit of time. I am not fantastic at feather and fan, which is what this part is. So it takes me a long time to get it done. But I am enjoying how it is knitting up right now. Golden Pearls does have these kits available in their shop, and they have them in a few different colorways too. I am knitting this on ChowGoo size 6 red lace needles. And I'm, again, having so much fun with this. And what I love about the pattern, it's a paid for pattern, is at the end of each section, she tells you how much of the yarn you should have used. So you can tell if you're going to be short based off, if you weigh it, so that you know if, hey, your tension's a little off, you should probably tighten it up. It's just good information to have. And the nice thing is that, as I said last episode, these little mini skeins of color, the pops, this is Whoa. They come caked up already for you because I don't enjoy caking up minis. You guys have a good opportunity of seeing Men Love My Cupcakes in the shawl, but since the color accents are so small, I'm going to show you what the minis look like. This is Miami You've Got Style, and this is No Rose. Okay, that is all for my works in progress and finished objects right now. I do have one project waiting for me to cast on in my future knitting, and I am going to be doing the Dotted Rays shawl by Stephen West, and I'm going to do it in this beautiful color from Threadhead Yarns. It's from a sheep named Boomer. It's 100% merino. All of her colors are one of a kind. You can't repeat them. And she does not have an online shop. I found this yarn when I was at the Renaissance Festival a few years ago, and I've been saving it for something special. I've tried a few different projects with it, and nothing felt right. And then I saw the Dotted Rays pattern, and I said, that's what this needs to be. So that's what I am doing. Beyond that, let's talk about what's going on in my life and your life. We are getting ready to have my husband go for a week and a half to Romania for a conference. And we found out last week that he is no longer deploying to a country that will be unspecified for security reasons for those that are going. But his unit is no longer going there. So this is exciting. This means that my friend Alex is going to get to come and visit, because when she was going to come, I was more than happy to have her. However, she does watch this podcast. However, it was the month before he was going to be leaving for a long time. And that month is always crazy with training schedules, and you want to spend as much time with your service member as you can before they go, because you never know what's going to happen. But now that he's not going, I don't have to worry about that. So she is coming for 2 weeks. I am so excited. Hi, Owls. Moo-ah. You will eventually be seeing, we did a joint podcast when I was in San Diego for Christmas. She is the host of the Hound Strings podcast, and she's absolutely lovely. We are probably going to do another joint podcast while she is here to visit, but we're also going to be exploring and sightseeing everything. So it's a possibility. I don't know, but here's hoping. What do you think, Owls? Let me know. We also have a few things upcoming. We are going to go to Slovakia and Austria and Hungary in April. while Alex is here. My sister and my nephew are possibly coming later this year as well. We are trying to plan all of it out our entire year because things are getting to the crunch time where we have a little over a year to go, and people that want to visit need to get in this year because we can't guarantee anything else. So that's going on. We've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of snow lately. And so we've been staying at the house a little more often. Typically we would be gone on weekends, like it was Martin Luther King Day this past weekend. So we had a 4-day. Well, he had a 4-day. I have every day. But we ended up staying here because there was just too much snow and it's not exactly predictable. You don't want to go far away when the weather's bad, you know? But we've had so much fun. We have been binging Suits, which neither of us have ever seen before. We've been playing a lot of Clue and Monopoly. We watched the new season of Grace and Frankie. I finally got him to watch Riverdale. I am so happy, you guys. That's kind of it for our On the Horizons, though. Do keep in mind that my podcast name is going to be changing soon, and I am getting a new logo. And I will show you that now, because this is a big announcement episode, right? So I had my friend Logan design this for me. And she didn't design it for me. She drew this for me as a gift. And I loved it so much that I am making it my logo. His name is Petrillo because we're in the middle of a Golden Girl along, and Sophia Petrillo is the wisest of the Golden Girls, and owls are wise. Therefore, Petrillo. So, this is going to be the new logo replacing the Stonehenge very soon. However, it is not going to be changing until I get my new MacBook next month. So, this is happening, and my name will be changing as well, just as a heads up, but little bit pieces of information at a time for now. But that's all I have for this episode. So do It Makes Your Heart Sing for me. That's 2 sticks and string. See ya.